Before gold-dazzled empires, before spices fueled global trade, India gifted humanity something softer, yet equally transformative: cotton. Millennia before foreign conquests, a silent revolution bloomed in its river valleys, not forged in fire, but woven on looms, a legacy older than the wheel, spun not just into cloth, but into culture. This is not just a story of fiber. It is a story of civilization, ingenuity, and legacy, beginning with a seed. The earliest known use of cotton dates back over 8,000 years to Mehrgar, where archaeologists discovered cotton fibers trapped in copper beads, a soft whisper from the past speaking of people who spun not just thread, but innovation. Recent DNA studies confirm the Indus people were engineering the world's first purpose-bred cotton, transforming wild fibers into textile gold 3,000 years before Egypt's fields bloomed with the crop. By 2600 BCE, in the bustling cities of the Indus Valley, cotton textiles had matured into artistry, with terracotta spindle whorls, dyed yarns, and silver vessels hinting at an industry sophisticated beyond its time. These weren't just city builders, they were the world's first textile technologists. The Rig Veda, one of the world's oldest sacred texts, spoke of vastra and kshauma, words for cloth that echo through centuries, indicating woven cloth. Was more than attire, it was sacred geometry, draped in ritual and identity. India's story with cotton began not in factories, but in fingers, perfecting the drop spindle to balance tension and twist with sacred focus, a memory in motion. Much later, the charkha arrived, a quiet wheel that spun louder revolutions, spinning from temples to kitchens, powering homes with rhythm and resistance. Cotton became craft. Craft became identity. Across regions, this identity was vivid. Kalinga's early resist dyeing as the ancestor of ikat, Magadha's soft yet enduring linen cotton blends, and Dakshinapatha's brocades gleaming like molten sun. While the legendary Asani loom, noted in Jain texts, 300 BCE, could weave 10,000 thread muslins light enough to pass through a ring, a finesse unmatched until the industrial age. Before industry, before empire, India spun the world's first fabric of finesse, making cotton not just cloth but currency, culture, and civilization. Dyeing, too, was an art form, with India pioneering natural dyes like indigo from the Nilgiris, madder from the Deccan, and turmeric from the Eastern Ghats. These were not just colors, they were chemistry, poetry, and ritual, with weavers working to the rhythm of bhavas, temple bells, and life, their craft spiritual, their hands sacred, producing robes so vibrant they seemed to glow in the sun. Cotton was not just worn, it was wealth, shaping India's ancient economy silently and steadily. By 2000 BCE, Indian cotton had already reached Mesopotamia. From Egypt to Babylon, it was a luxury, becoming India's first global currency. Roman records show Indian fabrics made up 15% of Alexandria's textile imports under Emperor Augustus, and in 78 CE, Barigaza, modern Baruch, dispatched 4,000 pieces of chitravastra, worth their weight in gold. When Emperor Nero first saw Bengal muslin, he called it woven moonlight, and Arab geographer al-Mas'udi wrote, "Indian cottons clothe kings from Aden to Zanzibar. Indian cotton conquered fashion long before Paris or Milan, and ports like Muziris, Tamralipti, and Parukacha buzzed with cotton caravans and spice." In India, cotton was not just cloth, it was class, caste, and culture. Farmers wore earthy karpasa, Brahmins donned pure white vastra for ritual, courtesans shimmered in silk cotton mashru, and even Buddha's first robe was humble cotton, gifted, dyed, and stitched by hand. Texts like Kautilya's Arthashastra describe strict quality control for cotton goods, and weavers were considered vital citizens, protected, taxed, and respected, with offerings of dyed cotton cloth made to deities. In ancient temples, it was not just a thread, it was samskara, a rite, a ritual, a remembrance. By 1400 CE, India's cotton was global currency. Deccan's Mashru dazzled Ottomans, Golconda's chintz captivated Japan, and Bengal muslin graced Mughal emperors. In Africa, Indian cotton cloths were used in ceremonial rituals. Arab traders draped their caravans in Indian weaves, and in China, cotton printing techniques were inspired by Indian traditions. Even the early Renaissance tapestries of Europe owe their palette to Indian dyes. Indian cotton did not just travel, it taught, laying the foundations for the global textile empire from Manchester to Macau. But Europe's mills couldn't match Indian skill, so they legislated it out of existence. The Calico Acts, 1721, banned Indian textiles. Still, demand bloomed underground, with chintz smuggled under skirts, giving birth to the term undercover. Then came the blood-stained chapter. Bengal's weavers had thumbs severed, an eye. Empire feared the handloom. Yet the thread refused to snap. From Mergar's seeds to Patan's patola, from Kanchipuram's silks to Pochampali's ikat, this isn't just a crop. It's civilization, spun, dyed in monsoon rain, carried by ocean winds, folded into memory. It told the world that softness can be strength, that thread can unite where empires divide, that culture can travel, not as conquest, but as craft. It began with a seed, grew with care, spread with trade. Now, it endures as pride. This is not just history. This is heritage. This is the thread of glory.